The Amazon rainforest is one of the most precious ecosystems on Earth, a cradle of life, resilience, and balance. But every year, thousands of acres vanish, not by accident, by design. Cut down, burned, cleared, often in the name of profit, survival, or short-term gain. And with each acre lost, so too are the lives of animals, the stability of our climate, and the hopes of the people who depend on the forest to live. This is not just deforestation. It's displacement. It's extinction. It's unraveling. But this story is not over, and it's not beyond repair. In this episode, we'll examine the root causes of deforestation, the devastating consequences for wildlife, biodiversity, and indigenous communities, the global stakes of Amazonian habitat loss, and the hopeful efforts already underway to restore, reforest, and protect what remains. Because what's at stake is not just the future of the Amazon, it's the future of us all. Deforestation in the Amazon doesn't have a single cause. It's the result of many pressures, layered, complex, and often interlinked. Let's break down the primary drivers. Cattle ranching. Cattle ranching is the leading cause of deforestation in the Amazon. In Brazil alone, around 80% of deforested land is used for pasture. Forests are burned to make room for grazing, a short-term economic gain with long-term ecological costs. Industrial agriculture. Soy production. The Amazon is also cleared for large-scale soy plantations, much of it destined not for human consumption, but to feed livestock in other parts of the world. Soy farming, especially in southern and eastern Amazon regions, continues to push deeper into forested areas, fragmenting habitats and disrupting ecosystems. Illegal logging. Though logging is sometimes legal and regulated, illegal logging remains widespread. Trees like mahogany and ipe are highly valued, and logging roads often pave the way for even more deforestation. Mining and oil extraction. Gold mining and oil exploration damage the forest from within, contaminating rivers, displacing communities, and leaving toxic scars on the land. Many of these operations operate outside legal oversight, putting people and ecosystems at risk. Infrastructure expansion. New roads, pipelines, and dams often accelerate deforestation, not just by clearing land directly, but by opening access to remote areas, inviting further exploitation. These forces aren't working in isolation. They're part of a system, fueled by global demand, weak enforcement, and policy decisions that too often prioritize short-term gain over long-term balance. And while the causes are complex, so too are the solutions. When forests fall, life disappears. Not all at once, but in waves. The Amazon is home to 1 in 10 known species on Earth. It's the most biodiverse place on the planet. But that diversity is under siege. When a single patch of forest is cleared, countless species lose their homes, some of which exist nowhere else on Earth. Even species that survive the clearing often suffer afterward. Fragmented habitat means less space to find food and mates. Disruption of tree cover alters temperature, moisture, and nesting conditions. Many forest creatures are highly specialized. They can't simply adapt to a new or changing environment. But this isn't just about individual species. It's about a web of life, a network of relationships. The Amazon's plants and animals are part of a living system. Pollinators ensure fruiting trees reproduce. Predators keep populations in balance. Decomposers return nutrients to the soil. Seed dispersers, like monkeys and birds, regenerate the forest itself. When even one of these links breaks, the entire system weakens. Deforestation isn't just erasing species. It's unraveling the ecosystem that keeps the rainforest alive. And as the rainforest weakens, so too does one of the most powerful climate stabilizers on Earth. The Amazon may seem far away, a remote wilderness on another continent. But what happens here affects all of us. The rainforest is not isolated. It's deeply connected to the systems that support life across the planet. The Amazon acts as a massive carbon sink, absorbing billions of tons of CO2 from the atmosphere. When trees are cut down or burned, that carbon is released back into the air, adding fuel to the climate crisis. As deforestation accelerates, the Amazon's ability to store carbon weakens. In some areas, scientists warn it may be tipping from a carbon sink to a carbon source. The Amazon generates its own rainfall through a process called evapotranspiration. Trees release water vapor into the atmosphere, helping to form clouds and regulate rainfall. This moisture fuels agriculture across Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, and even influences weather patterns as far away as North America and Africa. Lose enough forest, and rainfall patterns change, putting global food and water supplies at risk. The Amazon holds untold discoveries. Plants that may hold cures, species with unique adaptations, ecosystem insights that science is only beginning to understand. To lose the Amazon is to lose what we don't even fully know yet, and what we may one day desperately need. This isn't just about trees. It's about climate stability, food security, clean water, biodiversity, and a livable future for every person on this planet. That's why protecting the Amazon isn't just an environmental issue. It's a global imperative. The Amazon is under threat, but it is not beyond hope. Across the region, people are working tirelessly to protect what remains and to restore what's been lost. From large-scale restoration projects to grassroots reforestation campaigns, efforts are underway to heal degraded land, bringing back native species, restoring ecosystems, and rebalancing local climates. These projects are not just about planting trees. They're about restoring entire systems with attention to soil health, species diversity, and long-term resilience. Governments and NGOs have created millions of acres of protected areas, places where logging, mining, and development are restricted or prohibited. But protection on paper isn't enough. It takes enforcement, funding, and collaboration with local communities to ensure these areas remain intact. Indigenous peoples are among the most effective conservationists in the world. They manage over 30% of the Amazon basin, often with lower deforestation rates than surrounding areas. Many are reviving traditional practices, developing sustainable economies, and advocating for stronger legal protections for their lands. Supporting Indigenous leadership is not just ethical, it's strategic, because protecting Indigenous rights is one of the most powerful ways to protect the forest itself. From international climate agreements to local policy shifts, momentum is building for stronger forest protections. More governments are committing to end deforestation. More consumers are demanding transparency in supply chains. And more people around the world are speaking out. The solutions are here. What's needed now is the will to act, and the understanding that conservation is not just possible, it's already happening. But to succeed, it must happen faster. And it must happen together. The Amazon may feel far away, but the choices we make right here, right now, can ripple across the world. You don't need to live in the rainforest to help protect it. You just need to care enough to act. Donate to organizations like Amazon Conservation, who partner directly with Indigenous communities to protect forests, restore ecosystems, and defend land rights. Choose products that are deforestation-free and ethically sourced. Look for certifications that protect forests and fair labor. Support companies that value transparency and sustainability. Share what you've learned. Talk about the Amazon. Educate your family, your school, your workplace. Every conversation can plant a seed. Use your voice as a citizen. Vote for leaders and policies that support climate action, Indigenous rights, and forest conservation, locally and globally. This isn't just a story about loss. It's a story about choice, and the choice is still ours. To protect what remains, to restore what's been damaged, and to act while there's still time. Because the Amazon doesn't just belong to the countries it touches. It belongs to all of us. Its survival is linked to our own.